All right, so I wanted to do a video today. Hopefully it'll help some of y'all out. This car, ever since I bought it, if you've been following the restoration the last year and a half, really, ever since I bought it, the car had nothing but, I had stuff rigged on this car to make the lights, like the lights in the back work, and just keep the car going. And it needed a harness put in it, and that's what made this snowball to restore this car. But after everything's been changed, the headlights, about 15 seconds and they would start to flicker. There they go. Took about 15 seconds. So I did a little reading online, and it determined that it seemed like the last 15 or 20 years, it occurred to me that ever since we started getting sorry parts from China and stuff like that, that now bright lights struggle to work. You know, a lot of switches, electrical compartments are just junk, and all the GM stuff is gone. So what I wanted to show you, this should apply to any 12-volt system. This is a 59 Chevy Impala, but I would imagine this would apply to any 12-volt system, and it's a very simple process. I just ran the bright lights for a short time to verify they no longer do what they were doing. So what you want to do is you want to buy a relay. I bought a relay from my local supplier that sells performance parts here locally, TKM Automotive, TKM Custom Rods there. If you want to get the stuff you need from them, would be great. But here's basically what you do in a nutshell. Get the light turned on here. Okay, there we go. Find a kind of an inconspicuous location, but somewhere you can still access it. I'm not hiding wires on this car. It's pretty stock restoration here, so just wanted to make them look neat and kind of like factory. So I hid it under the horn relay. There was already a hole, so I just used that and bolted the horn relay there. And then I consulted a friend of mine, because this is the first time, thank you, Randy, this is the first time I've had to actually done this, so I wanted to make sure I was doing it correctly. On the instructions where it says to a switch source, you got to imagine it being the headlight switch. So this would be the wire coming from the headlight switch. So as you can see, I cut and tapped into the wire here on the headlight switch. So you just basically, you mount the relay, make sure you know where your wires are going. We'll take a look at the instructions here. You run the 30 amp to a 12-volt source. Well, this car just so happened to have a wire coming straight from the battery to here. So I believe this is the horn relay. So it's hot. It stays hot all the time. So I ran, which on this particular relay, remember colors may vary from relay to relay, is the blue wire, and I put a 30 amp fuse in line and hooked it here. Then of course I went to chassis ground here, used a bolt and nut, grounded the black wire. Then on this particular Impala 59, the wires coming from the bright lights are green. You can verify on your car with a test light, make sure you get the correct wires. So I cut into this wire here and ran this wire coming from the headlight switch to the white wire on the relay, which is the switched source that goes to 12-volt switched. And then basically the power comes into the relay and then goes back out. So then on the yellow wire, which is the feed wire, then I ran that back to the headlights. Now I've got to clean all this up, make it look neat, tape everything up, but I just wanted to show you before I did that what I did. And the end result, which is we have, if you listen real close, you can hear the relay click. I heard it. Hopefully it picked it up in the video, but we have this car, I had these lights on for a few seconds at a time, and they are good. There's a new Sylvania bulbs. But these things are now, in my opinion, even brighter than they were. I can't look at them. They're So, you know, getting it off that headlight switch, and looks like it makes your headlights even brighter. A lot of people want to condemn the old cars for not having good headlights, but that's not true. You can see better in these old cars with the sealed beams, not the originals, but a good Sylvania sealed beam than you can these new cars. All these good new cars are good far as blinding people. This here won't blind the upcoming driver, but you can see, I swear, a mile down the road. And of course, adjustment is key. So do a little touch on adjustment, but you got these adjustment screws here, and you want to adjust your headlights. And the way I like to have my headlights is I don't want them hitting the road. When I have my lights on, I don't want to see any light right in this area. I want the light to hit about right here. And then it goes on down the road. So just keep that in mind for your adjustment. You'll have some great headlights on these old cars, and you'll be able to see really, really good. Better than most modern cars. Another thing about modern headlights is they tend to bebop. So they go across the road and they have a line that just stops. And they do this. Well, I have vertigo issues. That makes me dizzy. The few newer vehicles I've ridden in, I've got dizzy, and it only took about 10 or 15 minutes, and I got super, super dizzy. So just keep that in mind too, why these older cars have superior headlights. But to have superior headlights, you have to do some work. And unfortunately, we're dealing with Chinese parts nowadays on these switches. So you're gonna have to do this to make it work. And here we are, we're sitting here about 45 seconds or a minute into it, and the headlights are still burning. So you can always just verify to, you know, check the heat of the wires, make sure nothing's heating up, getting hot. So anyway, hopefully that helps you get your bright lights working on your classic GM cars. And I would say this would probably apply to other makes as well. So with that being said, thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.